This video is intended to describe a Lightcuff set named Miracle. I will start with the primary blade banding. As a quick little preface too, the idea of this entire energetic composition is to put one's energetic field in the miracle receptivity vibration oscillation, if you would. So that of course starts off with Ruby right here, the quintessential red ray enlightened base chakra frequency in a crystalline format that strongly stimulates the base chakra. Subcapacitated by golden healer quartz. This is a critical component for the miracle ratio, in my humble opinion, because that aspect right there makes a dramatic alignment of the higher heart in connection to source crystalline Christ energy signature overlap. So you think it's a very prominent frequency tuning to the Christ frequency of source creation. So once again, subcapacitate golden healer quartz into sunstone. Sunstone's a very beneficent sunny energy. Quite delightful. That stimulates the sacrum and solar plexus. Transitioning into golden healer quartz into tiger's eye. Tiger's eye aligns and stabilizes the lower three chakras. Golden healer quartz once again into peridot. Peridot stimulates the third and fourth chakras, a very powerful abundance, positivity in general frequency. Right here, golden healer quartz once again into emerald. Emerald is the king of the green ray, receptive heart abundance frequencies. Golden healer quartz into aquamarine, cardinal water aspect of fourth and fifth stimulation. Actually, fun fact too is that is a cousin to a beryl family, to the emerald. So you think of this as a very new, naturally progressive, perfected transition point by having the same family resonance, the same kind of hardness, oftentimes 8.5 out of 10, to be a very strong stimulation to the water aspect of the fourth and fifth. Cardinal water, communication, fourth and fifth activation. Golden healer quartz right here once again into lapis lazuli, lovely stone of antiquity of past life regression and temple of Isis utilization, fifth and sixth stimulant right here, wind element. Golden healer quartz once again into super 7. It looks just like plain amethyst, but under certain aspects of the light you can see its other inclusions, which is of course the purple ray connotation represented right here, which has a strong stimulation to the crown and above. Golden healer quartz once again into scoicite, the lovely white ray stone of divinity, 6th, 7th stimulation of window mental concept right there. Into golden healer quartz once again into the pink ray lovely stone of kunzite, lithium based pink ray divine love activator. Also, since it has a high lithium ratio, it makes it very soothing to the entire physical body. So that'd be the topical aspect of the miracle bands shown on both sides of this set, like so. To be the primary energy focus, if you would. And on the blade face, or actually sorry, the coin face of these devices is lovely seraphinite on both sides right here. A lovely green ray stone named after the seraphim archangels to be a full light body imbuer. So it's a very impeccable stone for dismantling any patterns of dis-ease as well as any kind of impediments to light body generation, grounding to the conscious self avatar physically manifested. And so with all that lovely energy, but first and foremost, before getting further, is also the description of these lovely coins this entire construct is developed around. So these are from the lovely Wizard of Sedona, Stephen A. Ross, great man, great wizard. And these are archetypal coins he's minted and had commissioned to have this message distributed through creation. Starting off with the message of with love, in love, and through love governing all actions, obviously self-evident and rather important and potent concept to be really embodied. Then the other side of the coin, representing this device, is a beautiful heart, an open mind, and a humble spirit. Between those two archetypal messages in tandem are kind of prerequisites for the proper highest truth, in my humble opinion. Hence the utilization of this coin in developing a morphic field or a transmuter around this exact archetypal resonance is a tremendous honor. And not to mention another large foray in the augmentation of this coin is represented in these devices, as a small morphic field's been developed around this coin in quite a few renditions now at this point, different variations of the crystalline ignition order, if you would. So this is another foray in augmenting this archetypal message throughout creation. And most importantly, to keep that grounded and consolidated and tangible, is a transmutation blade band ratio found on both sides of the blade face right here as a secondary energy configuration cycle. So starting off with the transmutation band on this rendition right here would be hematite, a very lovely iron-based grounder that successfully grounds all radial stored energy through the base chakra, through the earth stars, into this meridian matrix reprocessing. That is primarily the whole intention of this band as well, is to really actually make the tangible shifts ground through successfully into the earth plane for practical etheric shifts in a grounded, arced manner. Continuing with that theme would be smoky quartz, right so, and makes a lovely transmutation of all negativity, and also a lovely etheric composting, if you would, for all receptive radial energies to be properly transmuted, grounded through, and just like the hematite, complement that frequency as a subcapacitator right here to ensure that contact patch has a constant ground purification. And to further accelerate the iron-based projective aspects of this would be pyrite. Pyrite is a more yang, masculine variant of iron-based minerals in the mineral kingdom of pyrite, being a strong stimulant to the solar plexus, yet in a very grounded manner, which of course is an aspect of taking all this radial energy and putting it through a design of focused intent to focus the practical application of this whole rarefied frequency in tangibility. And to further accelerate that as a subcapacitation once again, next to the pyrite is clear quartz, a simple neutral programmable carrier that of course is very receptive to the conscious impulses of the wielder of this device. In that sequence, transitioning into selenite. Selenite is a rather critical component to use in all light tech and all distribution for the simplistic winning factor that takes an entire frequency algorithm. It will amplify, harmonize, and purify the entire vibratory output, as well as selenite by itself is a very critical key to unlocking the higher self configuration and dispersing any electromagnetic interference that would interfere with the higher self continuity. So selenite by itself is a very strong clearing stimulant to the 6th, 7th, and 8th soul star. Then the non-physical chakras above that are the key to the higher self template, anchoring to the conscious self with less interference. Then once again, transitioning back into hematite, smoky quartz, pyrite, quartz, and selenite, like so, is the entire ignition sequence from both these constructs in tandem. Can't quite see it in this video, but underneath all of this right here is a very large piece of black kyanite wire wrapped to a special spore or herb called horsetail, which is a whole long dissertation again to itself, which I will omit in this video. But the recipient's well informed of the connotations horsetail has, hence it's been incorporated in this device. You can see it right there a little bit. Basically, it's wire wrapped to a very larger piece of black kyanite on both sides of these devices in tandem. Obviously, it's pretty evident they're as identical as possible to make a very compatible idyllic closed loop circuit. So they're both oscillating the same frequency in tandem to be as ideally identical as possible for the more successful balance of the projective and receptive palm chakras where they will be placed. So the utilization of only black kyanite in these devices also is an aspect of making the transference ratio of this be a constant grounding bypass. So you can think of black kyanite being a very, very quick, rapid black ray stone that rapidly bridges all energy through the earth meridian matrix, through the entire system. So you can think of it also being a very auto-reactive energy impulse. So no matter what's going on for black kyanite, for receptive input, it makes a very powerful, successful ground point that's very reactive and calibrated to the requirements of these devices to ensure the contact patch is strongly grounded through the earth plane, through the entire chakra column, through the base, into the earth stars, and once again, into the earth star meridian matrix for reprocessing. So when that kind of connotation is in play, you can think of it as also being a very powerful ground pressure valve that will basically take all of this entire frequency output and make a constant bridging of this energy primarily through a black ray focus to keep the contact patch grounded, which is the whole point. Which is more of along the lines of the in-the-body experience, which is the point of this. Okay, so now that I got most of the crystalline composition out of the way in description notoriety, in summary, these devices are designed to basically keep one in the miracle ratio. So you can think of the entire electromagnetic spectrum of the 7 rays with a little bit of white and pink added as overlay. to basically keep the entire stimulation of a unified field of the entire typical 7 chakras in alignment with the subcapacitation of the golden healer quartz to bring the Christ frequency between each octave and stimulation while the ignition sequence is live and active. So under that pretense, of course, you can think of just for example, the ruby and sunstone being strong stimulus to the base and sacrum. Yet the subcapacitation of golden healer quartz right here makes a very powerful filling in of the Christ frequency through the entire chakra column, next to its individual corresponding physical etheric chakra template engagement. So that subcapacitation between the entire electromagnetic spectrum, which stimulates the entire chakra column in unison with the Christ frequency in between each of them, keeps the center focus of the Christ source resonance in between the entire ignition order of this entire closed loop circuit, if you would. And yes, so back previous to my last digression is the aspect also, of course, the miracle construct cuff is designed to have the crystal ignition order be in the mode of miracles. So when you have an idyllic field of full stimulation, particularly with the grounded arc insulation protection, that in theory, in design, intended for its crystalline output would be keeping one's field in the miracle ratio cohesion from both balance of the receptive and projective palm chakras to ensure that that highest miracle manifestation timeline, energetically mimicked through the frequency, of course, manifests externally, is the priority and the prerogative of the goal of this device set. So that's the big idea, is that this entire complex subroutine system that can be technically worn on the wrists is designed to keep the wielder in the miracle ratio of the highest spiritual resonance in all given times, with a very well distributed platform to hit the entire chakra column spectrum of earth, fire, water, and wind in tandem. And most priority based also is earth, fire, water, wind, and spirit. The fifth element, love, of creation. And that would be the basic aspect of the entire description fulfilled. And of course, they're set on lovely leather cuffs that are relatively small. The wielder of this device has relatively small wrists, so I found the smallest, most appropriate cuffs possible for this rendition. And I'm hoping that once this is in her custody, I have succeeded in that quest. All right, well, like I said previously, that would be the discussion and description of the in-depth tour of the Miracle Resonant Cuff set. 1,000 blessings, and may the force be with all of us.